Peace and blessings, my lightnings, my light beings, my divine mystics, and all of the wonderful people out there who are actively pursuing their life purpose and to live in authenticity. For those who are not aware, my name is Kalima, and thank you all for joining the Being the Light podcast. On this podcast, we are tuned in at the 777 frequency, only bringing in good vibes, and I emphasize only. And ultimately, we're here to uplift the collective consciousness and to also share our unique perspective on this spiritual journey that we all embark upon. On today's episode, we will be discussing the power of trusting in the process, not wavering, and staying persistent and persevering through the journey. I myself have been going through my own spiritual awakening journey, and at times I have struggled to trust, just innately struggling to trust in a process that is unknown to me. While it feels good when you know you're walking in your purpose, you have to be honest, it is scary because you do not know what is before you. You don't know what to expect. When you're walking your divine purpose, it is a very unsettling feeling that you experience, because while you feel great because you are following your higher calling, you are trusting in the divine and a higher power to guide you. And that guidance is often unseen. You can hear the internal guidance within. However, sometimes you cannot always see it. And in most cases, you can't see the guidance. You have to trust. And especially when you're on a spiritual awakening journey, all you can do is trust. You are walking a path that you have never walked. And with that, it comes with a great amount of pressure, anxiety, fear, insecurities. And for me on my journey, I would say the biggest difficulty that I experienced was really trusting. And I'm still on the journey. We're still on the journey. The journey never stops. It's an ongoing journey. But I'm here to tell you that trusting the process is the most pertinent aspect of the journey, because there are going to be many things that you will experience that go beyond the seen. And you have to learn to trust. You have to learn to connect with your surroundings, your environment. You have to learn how to hear. Quiet the mind to hear the guidance that you are receiving. And you have to trust, even when you do not see your manifestations, your beliefs come into the physical reality as of yet, you have to trust. And when your trust is wavering, that is when you turn within. That is when you recalibrate your energy. Whether it's through meditation, through prayer, whatever spiritual practice that you have embodied or that you're working to consistently employ in your life, do it. It is pertinent for this process. You may not be aware, but you are so close to achieving your desired goal or reality. But you must trust. And the way you trust, it's different based upon the individual and the experience, and also your own unique gifts. So if you are an intuitive, you must learn to listen to that inner voice that is guiding you, right? If you are a psychic and you receive visions, listen to those visions. If you are a yogi and meditation is where you find solace and peace, then that's where you turn to. Find what it is that centers you, that makes you feel like you are in alignment with your desire. Find that practice and consistently do that, especially at times when your trust is wavering. And it will waver in the process. We're all human beings. And so we all experience this. And it's important that we learn to have these conversations, and we learn to create platforms for individuals to see that this experience that you're going through along your spiritual journey, we all go through it. We all go through it. There's no shame. We have to learn to trust. We have to learn to be patient in the process. That is a huge part of trusting, is patience What I normally say is patiently persevere. That is so important along this journey. Patience. Because one thing I will say, in the spiritual realm, time does not exist. That is why if you have a vision or a desire, you can see it instantly and immediately feel the experience associated with that vision or desire. Immediately, in real time. However, when it comes to translating that vision or desired reality into the 3D, the physical reality, it takes time. It takes time because it's a different reality governed by different laws. And we have to learn in this 3D reality that there is a higher power that is orchestrating every event that goes on in your life. And that means that we have to abide by the higher power. And we don't know what its divine timing is. And it's not often revealed. Typically, the divine speaks in general terms. Your goal or your desire is near. It's coming. It's here. But it's not necessarily quantified or measured by days or hours. So it's important that you just learn to trust. And when your faith wavers, find that centering. Find that spiritual practice that keeps you grounded. Go in nature. Connect with your environment. And also, while connecting with your environment, you will see and learn what aspects in your life that you need to let go that are supporting those negative beliefs, that is encouraging this impatience, this lack of trust, this anxiety, this fear, this depression, this self-doubt. Observing your environment, learning you, and trusting in the process is important. And so on today's episode, I wanted to check in with you all just to make sure that everyone is doing well. There are so many crazy things going on in this world today. And I think it's important that we learn to check in on each other. So I hope everyone is doing well. I really do. In a world filled with destruction, oppression, capitalism, racism, it's filled with everything meant to distract you. So when you're on your spiritual journey, you can't rely on the world to give you guidance. You have to rely on your higher power. You have to rely on your higher self to instruct you, to guide you what step to take. And when you're being guided by an unseen force, everything about the process will be unseen. And you have to learn to be patient. And I know it's difficult. And I know you have been praying consistently, asking the divine for this blessing or this desire to come in the 3D reality. And it's coming. But the divine wants you to know you have to trust in him. You have to listen to him. You have to understand that when you're ready to receive this blessing, it will come at a moment's notice. He will not have you waiting because he knows how important this is to you. He knows how happy this blessing, this desire will make you feel once you experience it. And so he wants to make sure that you are ready. And just because you have not received it does not mean that you're not ready. It just means that you have to wait until it's divine timing to receive it. So this is encouragement for all of my light beings. We are all on the same journey. We are on a journey to self-discovery. That is what this life is about. Learning who you truly are, regardless of the world's expectations, regardless of what you've been told you are, to truly learn your divine nature, your divine self, free from illusion and separation. So understand that you are not separate from your desire. You are always connected to it. So learn to find ways to be resourceful. If you are trying to manifest your divine counterpart or your divine spouse, your divine pair, and that individual is not in your life as of yet, you can telepathically talk to that person. Learn who that person is. Get closer to that individual. You're a spiritual being. You have access to everything. Everything. All you have to do is believe. If you are searching for that divine spouse, then you can communicate with him in different realms of reality. You can telepathically communicate with him, build a connection with him, See him. See him in your reality. When you're eating dinner, visualize him next to you. If you're dancing in your kitchen or you're going out to dinner with your friends, visualize him sitting next to you. Make sure that you are always close to that desire. And it's not in a state of desperation, but it's in a state of belief. You believe in this desire so much so that you see it everywhere. And if you see it everywhere, then the universal law of attraction is to bring it into your reality. If you are seeking to be a business owner, you are not fulfilled at your job, then you must act like a business owner. You must eventually quit your job. And I know that is scary when you hear it, but understand that your boss is not your provider. Your boss has never been your provider. The divine has been providing you with everything that you need since conception and even before conception. So you must realize that your true provider is the divine. So if you seek to be an entrepreneur, then you must walk and talk and act like an entrepreneur. You must quit your job. You must become an entrepreneur full time. Now, I'm not saying to immediately quit your job. Make sure you build a business and you grow your business to a certain point so that you are able to maintain the funds that you need, the resources that you need, so that you can actually become a full-time entrepreneur. That is what I recommend. However, we all have different paths that we take. Some people will quit their job and then just build the business that way. It may come with more hurdles and struggles, but if that's what your soul tells you to do, follow it. I'm talking from experience. I work for some of the best companies in the world, and the technology and the consulting industry as well. And I had a very comfortable life. I was making well over 6 figures, traveled all over the world. And while my job was extremely stressful and it did not provide me with any self-fulfillment, I was still able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I was still able to live very comfortably and take care of myself. But I didn't come here to just live a comfortable lifestyle. My existence, I believe, is to live a life of purpose with comfort. And so I had to walk the walk and talk the talk, as they say it. So I quit my corporate job, and it was a great one, by the way. I grew my business. I have a resume writing business, and I grew it to a point where I was able to sustain myself. And once I quit my job, I was able to focus on my business full time. And with that, the opportunities just started flooding in. Accreditation opportunities, speaking engagements, advertisement opportunities, podcasts, interviews. Everything started coming to me so fast. And at that point in my life, I felt like I was at the right place at the right time. And I was so proud of myself because I was trusting. I was listening to my inner voice, and I was trusting in the guidance that I was receiving. And while I was embarking on a new journey, and I was extremely frightened, I was extremely scared. As I mentioned, I was making well over 6 figures. And so financial independence and security was very important to me. And it was very important to my family to make sure you have a job that provides financial security. So walking this path, while I felt great, I was still very scared. I was still very frightened. I didn't know what to expect. And I still don't. With this podcast, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to even amount to anything. But I am tired. I am so tired of living a life in fear and not trusting. And so this episode is for anyone. If you have a dream, believe in it. But when you believe in it, it requires you to take action. Take that leap of faith. Do it for you. Bet on you and trust. And trust and trust. And I want to emphasize trust one more time. Trust that you will be divinely guided. And understand whatever expectation you have, throw it in the trash. Throw it away. The divine will reveal to you what path to take, what step to take. And sometimes he will not share with you the entire process, but he will share with you the process step by step. So each step you take, trust. And each step is going to feel uncomfortable. So ground yourself, center yourself, find that spiritual practice and ground yourself in that belief that you will be okay, that the universe is listening, that the divine is listening. And I promise you, resources will come. It will come because you believe they will come. So ensure that you believe, speak positively to yourself, and only speak things that you wish to create. Only speak things that you wish to experience. If you don't wish to experience it, do not speak it into existence. Do not write about it. Do not talk about it. Only talk about the things that you believe to be true, that you wish to experience. And that is how you live an abundant life. And again, this is an ongoing process. So we're all learning. I'm learning as well. And I'm sharing with you what I'm learning along my journey of being a full-time entrepreneur, of being a full-time creative writer, of being a host for a podcast. I am doing everything that I wished I would have done years ago. I am doing everything that I've always wished to do, and I'm doing it with no fear. You have to trust. An abundant lifestyle means you must trust in a higher power. You must trust in the divine to guide you, because the divine is the most abundant. And so if you want to experience the most abundant way of living, you gotta trust. You gotta trust in the divine. So we're gonna end here, everyone. As I mentioned before, I wanted to come on and share my perspective on trusting in the process and trusting in the process of your own spiritual journey and your own journey for understanding and truth and authenticity. It requires trust. It requires you to trust in the unseen. It requires you to trust in the divine. And I promise you, when you take that leap of faith and you know what it is that your heart, what your soul has been calling you to do, when you take that leap of faith, I promise you, and you believe that you will achieve that goal or desire, when you believe that you will achieve that goal, when you believe that you're going to experience that desire, that's when your life will change. That's when the opportunities will come. And I promise you, you will start inspiring others to do the same. It's a domino effect. Once you free yourself from a fear-based way of life and you start living in authenticity, you allow others to do the same because they see someone doing it. They see someone living their purpose and it inspires them to do the same. So be that conduit of change and trust in your process so that you can inspire others to do the same. So thank you, my lightnings, my light beings, my divine mystics, and all the wonderful people out there. I love you so much. And remember, we are a family. If you're looking for a soul family, this is where you will find it. We are a family that promotes positivity, light, encouragement, and we love to inspire each other. Let's encourage each other on this process. So thank you again for tuning in to Be in the Light podcast with yours truly, Kalima. And as always, peace and blessings.